Welcome back to the Nomad's Notebook podcast. As always, my name is Joe Maxwell. I've been feeling a little bit down today, if I'm being totally honest, the last couple days really, and I've been trying to figure out why. I think that's always a really smart approach when it comes to mental health, is not always trying to fix the problem of whatever you're feeling in the immediate present, but just observing and seeing, okay, what exactly am I feeling? How is that different than previous days, and what might have contributed to that? And in my case, I know recently there's kind of been a new relationship in my life that started. And I think earlier on, like maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, I had kind of built it up in my head as this thing that I hoped it to be and that I wanted it to be. And that came with a huge rush of dopamine, right? I was feeling really good about myself. I was really excited and really motivated to work on myself and to improve. But ultimately, it hasn't turned out to be exactly what I expected. And if I'm being honest, with that has come probably a decline in dopamine, because ultimately what comes up goes down, right? And I think that's a universal rule for the world. If something's going to happen, there's going to be a reaction, right? Whatever Einstein's rule is about that. I think the same goes for mental health, right? If you have a big upswing, eventually you're going to come down. So I think the key is just finding a way where you can find an even playing field, or as even a playing field as you can find, and you're going to enjoy life the most that way. But that's not the main topic that I want to talk about today. It was just kind of on the forefront of my mind. But what I want to discuss today is how you present yourself, specifically your fashion and how you dress. I always look at self-improvement as a number of different dials you can pull, right? You can improve your income, make more money, be more valuable at your job. That's one way you can improve yourself, but it's not the only thing. There's your fitness too, right? Like, you ever see those computer geeks? They make $1 bazillion, but they're all skinny and they have like a little belly, like that guy from Despicable Me. Like, they're all pear-shaped. That's not really desirable to me, right? I would rather be poor and jacked. I mean, I guess it depends how poor. But anyway, fitness is another lever that you can pull to improve yourself. Then you have your social skills, your ability to communicate. And then finally, you have your fashion sense, how you choose to dress. I want to tell you a little bit about my history with that side of self-improvement, which I think is very important, or I've come to believe that. So I was a college athlete for a number of years. So I would always just throw on like track pants and a hoodie. And that was acceptable because I always had that thing I could tell people like, yeah, I'm an athlete. So the way I dressed always made sense, and I liked it because I was comfortable. And I didn't really give much thought to how I was presenting myself in what I wore. I was just so focused on this one thing. And then I got out of college. I didn't have that to fall back on anymore. And for a couple of years, I continued to dress like shit, if I'm being totally honest. But lately, I've just been extremely motivated to improve myself in every area that I possibly can, right? All those different levers that I talked about. And I thought, what's one looming thing that I haven't really addressed that I know I should, that I now can afford to address? Because that was one thing when I was in college. I would think about it and I'm like, well, I don't have any money for nice clothes, so screw it. I'll just deal with it later, or never deal with it at all. And that's what ended up happening for a couple of years. But now I'm like, I have some money. Why don't I just present myself better? Why don't I just dress better? And that doesn't mean I'm going to be, wearing a suit at home, right? Because I do value comfort, especially when I'm in the safe space that's my house, right? But when I go out in public, when I'm meeting people, when I'm in sales meetings, when I'm at work, when I'm on dates, when I'm at family gatherings, I want to portray myself differently than I have been. So in the last couple weeks, I just went ahead and invested in some new clothes. I didn't spend a ton of time on it because I hate retail shopping. I hate going to malls. I just bought some basic stuff on Amazon, some different colors and some different matching combinations, and had a few friends weigh in on what combinations might look good. Bought it all on Amazon, made sure that it fit better than a lot of my older clothes, because I used to be like 40 pounds heavier than I am when I was competing. So a lot of my stuff was really baggy. And I think that's a huge mistake that I see a lot of young men making, is they just don't care enough, or they're self-conscious about their body, and they don't actually wear clothes that fit right. You want things to be pretty tight, right? And if that makes you uncomfortable, then maybe it's because you need to go to the gym and lose some weight and work on yourself that way. But if you have a reasonably decent body, you don't want clothes that are super baggy. Anyway, I bought these new clothes. I have maybe 6 to 8 new outfits and different combinations that I can put together now, and it's all in my closet. We'll talk a little bit about fashion options a little bit later, but I put on a few new outfits in some recent social gatherings that I went to, and I felt different. Like, I felt better. I felt like anywhere I went, I just owned the space, and it was a really powerful feeling. And other people picked up on this. Like, people looked at me different. Girls that would never give me a second look when walking them in the street if I was in a hoodie and, loose baggy track pants, they actually looked at me and they smiled. And that's why I think, as superficial as it is, and I'm not an overly superficial person naturally, but first impressions are really important in this world, especially in today's age of digital media and reduced attention spans. So getting a sharp initial impression in those first couple of seconds is really important. And fitness and how you dress are the two easiest ways that you can improve upon that. So I'm not a fitness expert, but I've been able to put together a couple of outfits that look pretty damn good. So I just want to give you some basics, right? That's the first thing. If you're not super into fashion, if it's not an interest of yours, but you're just looking to improve upon yourself, then the first piece of advice is to keep it very simple. Start with the pants. You need a couple different base colors that you can work with. You want a black pair of jeans or a very dark pair of jeans, a pair of blue jeans, and then a pair of white or cream colored jeans, right? That's going to give you some options when you mix that with shirts. And then it's a good idea if you're dressing it up a little bit more, you want a pair of khakis and a pair of dress pants. Usually black is going to be the best color that you can wear to more formal events. From there, you want a couple different shoe colors. Start with a pair of white shoes, a pair of dark shoes, and a pair of brown shoes. Now, what I did with the brown shoes is I made those a little dressier, right? I just found some ones I like, some brown leather dress shoes that you can wear with jeans or with dress pants if you so need. And then a couple different colors of belts, right? Because if you're wearing brown shoes, you're going to want a matching brown belt. If you have white or black shoes on, then you're going to want a black belt. So just go ahead, get a nice black belt and a nice brown belt and match it up with whatever shoes you're wearing. From there, you want a couple of dress shirts. You need a pink dress shirt, a white dress shirt, and a blue dress shirt. And what I did was I chose wrinkle-free fabric, or it's not quite wrinkle-free, but it looks a lot better if you've folded it and it's been in storage for a little while compared to a traditional dress shirt. And I don't even think I have an iron, but even if I did, I probably wouldn't use it. So I just want something I can throw in the dryer for a few minutes. It looks pretty good and I hang it up and it's ready to go the next time. So that's something to look into. Order maybe a size lower than you have been too, right? That way it's going to fit a little more snug than it otherwise would. And yeah, it gives you a couple different options that you can mix up with your different pant colors. From there, short sleeve. I went with some button-up options. I got a short sleeve navy shirt and I got it specifically fitted to be tighter on the arms because I kind of want to show that off a little bit more, right? And that's just a fit thing. If you're not super muscular, just get a regular fit. The navy in particular looks really good with brown and white pants. And then I also got a green shirt too, because being a redhead, I know I'm self-conscious about my hairline, so I have a hat on today, but green looks really good with my complexion. And that's the other thing too, is just figuring out what colors you like and what colors you're going to look good in. And then from there, a couple more t-shirts if it's a little less of a formal event. And then finally, I always think it's good to have at least one good suit. Black is going to be good, and then you can dress it up with any of your dress shirts. I prefer kind of a classier look, so a white dress shirt with a black suit and then blue or red tie, and then some black dress shoes as well. I didn't emphasize that, I don't think, but I actually have a pair of black dress shoes and then a pair of black just casual sneakers too. But you definitely want at least one formal outfit so you can dress it up a little bit as well. So I'm not an expert by any means, but that's some fashion advice to get you going in the right direction if you have no idea where to turn. It's kind of more practical, but the main idea behind this episode is kind of a larger concept that how you present yourself, very important. Don't make the mistake that I did for many years thinking it doesn't matter. Appearances do matter. Maximize yourself in all areas. People are going to take you a lot more seriously.